Made in Hollywood.
The action drama The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, from director Francis Lawrence, is made in Hollywood.
It still feels like a Hunger Games movie, but it has its own sort of unique twist, tonally, obviously narratively, but also in the world building.
Made in Hollywood.
Also on today's show, Tim Allen returns for season 2 of the family comedy series, The Santa Clauses.
They wanted to call it the Mad Santa, and it's just a mispronunciation, which I think is funny. It's Magnus Antus.
Plus, the biographical drama Rustin features Coleman Domingo. We sit down with the filmmakers of the documentary Maxine's Baby, the Tyler Perry story, and Shane West stars in the crime drama The Dirty South. This week on Made in Hollywood.
Made in Hollywood.
Set 64 years before Katniss Everdeen, a lowly tribute and her beleaguered mentor set out to turn the tide in their favor in The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
I am honored to introduce to you the creator of the Hunger Games themselves, Dean Casca Highbottom.
We were surprised that Suzanne wrote another book. There were no plans. When we finished The Mockingjays, she was moving on to other stuff. And 2019, she called us and said, I'm almost done with the book.
We were all in the depths of COVID. I got a phone call from Suzanne saying, both Francis and I've got something I want you to read.
Nina and I were shocked, excited, read it, and then I got more excited.
As a mentor, Mr. Snow, your role is to turn these children into spectacles, not survivors.
I love villain origin stories and, was super excited and up for the challenge, as well as rebuilding Panem in a way.
I have summoned you all here for the 10th annual reaping ceremony, in which we choose 2 children from each district to fight to the death in the Hunger Games.
From District 12, Lucy Gray Baird.
The question as you sit down to read a book or watch a movie that is about a character who you already know you don't like, you hate him actually. But what I found, that she did so effectively was, on the one hand, to show him in all of his dimension. He is not a Boy Scout by any stretch. He is a flawed, complex, self-interested survivor, and he is really turned upside down by the events of this story.
You want to protect people, and it's essential to accept what human beings are.
As long as we could find an actor who could do all of that, and we were very, very fortunate when we finally saw Tom.
Physically, I could see, how he, with his big blue eyes, could kind of become, a Donald Sutherland Snow, but also a very intelligent guy, very sophisticated, and that was one of the extremely important elements, that if you are believably going to become Donald Sutherland, you have to be intelligent, you have to be sophisticated.
It's the things we love most that destroy us.
We needed a singer, and we also needed a great actress and somebody that could play all the different sort of sides and facets to Lucy Gray.
You duck away from Reaper.
Yeah. Right. And then I back up again.
She's a bit of a mystery and a little mercurial and extroverted and a charmer and a performer, and Rachel could do all of that.
You could take my palm, but his name's a mystery.
When Suzanne first told me that she was writing this book and almost done, she didn't want to tell me the story, but she did say there was a big music element to it. I then discovered that Suzanne is a big fan of country music and had written a bunch of the lyrics for the songs in the movie.
You went to the dogs and I lived by my charms.
We've never had a character who is a performer who's going to get up on stage and sing, and that was a huge opportunity for us.
It's a mystery. And mysteries have a way of driving people mad.
It still feels like a Hunger Games movie, but it has its own sort of unique twist, tonally, obviously narratively, but also in the world building.
Mr. Snow, let me ask you one final time. What are the Hunger Games for?
Hanging tree.
Now available on your home screen. Coleman Domingo and director George C. Wolfe shine a spotlight on the forgotten architect of the historic March on Washington in the biographical drama Rustin.
Who was that?
The famous Ballad, Rustin.
In 41, you called for a large-scale march. The time has come for another.
No Ballad.
Ballad Rustin was openly gay at a time when, I think that, they didn't want him to be the face of a movement in many ways. Yet he was very much the architect of the March on Washington.
History can be very brutal. It will choose who it's going to shine a light on and then ignore many other people. And it's really a shame that it happened to somebody like Ballad, who was so instrumental in the organizing this monumental event and doing so in 8 weeks' time.
We are going to put together the largest peaceful protest made up of angelic troublemakers such as yourselves.
I became familiar with him because I helped to create a museum in Atlanta called the Center for Civil and Human Rights. And in doing that, in all my research, I focused on him in a very intense way.
He came across my mind when I joined the African American Student Union at Temple University. Then, of course, I did more research to find out who he was, and I was just blown away.
The entire D.C. police force has been mobilized.
What they really want to destroy is all of us coming together and demanding this country change.
He's a wonderful actor. I'd worked with him in Ma Rainey, and so it was great to work with him again. He brings a passion and an intelligence to his work.
I can't surrender my differences. The world won't let me. I come from the theater, and I think that I've always built a character fully. You'll see that he actually speaks in a higher, readier voice than I have, and so I want to find his pitch in many ways, and his pitch is also a clue to many things about him, about his personality as well. We are committed to altering the trajectory of this country towards freedom. That's what's on the line, nothing less. He was also a very dear friend and comrade to Dr. Martin Luther King. And that was challenging for many people, So I think that the history books sort of did everything they could to try to erase his contribution. Lord, I hope and pray they come today.
Coming up, Tim Allen spreads some holiday cheer in Season 2 of the family comedy series, The Santa Clauses, and we also look at a legendary writer, actor, filmmaker, and media mogul in the documentary Maxine's Baby, the Tyler Perry Story. To find out where to watch any movie, check out Moviephone.com. Find it, watch it.
They wanted to call it the Mad Santa, and it's just a mispronunciation, which I think is funny. It's Magnus Antis.
Made in Hollywood. Made in Hollywood.
Now available on your home screen, A Blast from Christmas Past comes back to thwart the North Pole's family business as Tim Allen returns for Season 2 of the holiday comedy series, The Santa Clauses.
I love what I do. Here we go. Come on.
How did you enjoy that? He passed out.
Huh? Oh.
The idea that Santa is a mantle that can be passed and not just a singular person is the central idea of the franchise established by the movies.
It's what he'd love to be, is keep it in the family. That's the idea, is that maybe my son or my daughter, that it would pass it on to my son if that's what something he'd want to do.
Checking it twice. Which is why I'm so geeked to turn Santa into a family business.
There's not a full agreement that Cal will be the perfect idea.
I really believe that my son, Cal, has what it takes to be the next Santa.
Massive fan of Tim in general, just as a comedic actor. Massive fan of Scott Calvin and the Santa Claus franchise.
The original Santa Claus, I go way back, not just with the series, but with the actual movie franchise.
Believe it or not, animals complain more than humans.
Wow.
Everything talks now. I can hear voices all the time.
Even the ticks.
Even the ticks.
We got to make North Pole history part of Cal's training.
That central idea is so rich because it suggests a whole history of Santas that have reigned over the North Pole.
Who's Magnus Antis?
The Mad Santa.
Is that something for us to worry about?
Betty mentions in the first season the darkest time in North Pole history, and that was the reign of the Mad Santa.
They wanted to call it the Mad Santa, and it's just a mispronunciation, which I think is funny, is of Magnus Antus. He just went off the rails a little bit because he didn't like how people were responding to being given things.
The looming threat of the rightful Santa coming back to take his rightful place on the throne definitely feels like an omnipresence that the show asked me to bring and to kind of motivate this series of not knowing what's gonna happen at the end, and we certainly still don't know what's gonna happen by the end of the season.
Santa? I am Santa, the rightful Santa.
He manages to find a way to resurface. He's conjured because of an accident, and my character is the first to discover him.
Is the rest of the world like this now?
Well, if it was, I wouldn't have to build this place, now would I? And that's why you should always follow your dreams, no matter what your dad says. Chris Kringle Moreno, that would be me, but a little bit cuter because I'm wearing a bunch of red and green, and I'm very festive. And I'm the owner of a Santa Claus store/museum. How about some sleight of hand?
At least it's not improv.
I have a kinship with comedians anyway. That we're a very small group, so it was fabulous. On top of that, he drilled his character.
He's so funny.
He's so funny
He's
in this,
just
and
like-
he's so good in this.
Yeah.
Really was brilliant. So on top of everything else, once again, another comic comes in and drills the part.
Tim Allen's an actual comedian, so it's like to hang out with another comic and be on a set. It was great.
It's a nice belly, but that's not a Santa belly. This is a Santa belly.
Now available on your home screen. The documentary Maxine's Baby, the Tyler Perry story, takes an intimate dive into the upbringing that shaped a legendary American writer, actor, filmmaker, and media mogul.
How do you feel right now, sir?
My problem with a lot of things in life is I can float above it. That's just from childhood, that's from abuse. So every moment's like you're okay, you're safe. It's just emotion, it's just feeling, it's love.
I wanted to get to know his journey. And also he has this quote that he lives by: your dreams are tied to other people's dreams. And what does that look like in practice, in the process? Oftentimes we see someone like him who's achieved so much. The final result, we don't get to see the process. There were a lot of questions I had, and through this filming, a lot of them were answered.
What filmmaker has had 5 movies open #1 at the box office in the last 4 years? Spielberg? Tarantino? Scorsese? No. This record belongs to Tyler Perry.
We let the flow take us, to and from subjects that we can focus on. And then from there, we had, this seems like this is going to be the story. This can be the focus and during this time. And then we can pivot and go here. And then we can interwoven, obviously, his mom, who's the most amazing heart piece of the entire film. We can put her everywhere because she is everything to him.
My mother said, don't you ever let anybody tell you who you are. You know who you are.
Initially, we didn't even know we were making a documentary. He was busier than ever. He just acquired the army base and turning it into a movie studio. The design of that was happening. He was on tour. He was filming TV shows and movies at the same time. So naturally, if you are a filmmaker, you just pick up a camera wanting to sort of document what was happening.
He had some horrific experiences that ultimately led to the characters he created and the imagination that he had.
And soon I realized, oh wow, there's a lot that's happening and I must continue shooting.
We were so broke. We used to share burgers and talk about these great dreams that he had.
I had all these people tell me what I would never be. Nobody said what I could be.
We wanted to make sure that we're like, we have his confidence and that we're going to tell his story from a transparent place. For that to happen, he couldn't be involved in it.
He was too busy. He was too busy. But, we had his blessings right before we went to distribution, but I don't think it would have worked out if he was involved. I don't think it would be the movie you see right now.
Tyler, I just want to tell you how blessed I am to have a son like you.
To find out where to watch any movie, check out Moviephone.com. Find it, watch it. Up next, Shane West, Willa Holland, and Dermot Mulroney star in the crime drama, The Dirty South.
All the background that we have in this movie that you see, these are real people that live there. And really, we're excited to be a part of it.
Made in Hollywood. Made in Hollywood.
Now available on demand. A desperate daughter's simple plan to save her family's business quickly spirals out of control as Shane West, Willa Holland, and Dermot Mulroney star in the crime drama, The Dirty South.
Anyone from a small town knows whatever your business, you bet everybody knows it.
You know, your dad ain't paid the mortgage on this place in some time.
This place is all we got.
I'll give you 72 hours or I'll pick it up at auction.
I am from Natchitoches, Louisiana, and around the area. And this bar that we shot in, I actually worked there whenever I was a baseball player in college.
I was also told that this was, a Louisiana story, going to film in Louisiana, based out of Louisiana. I'm from there. So to be a part of something that originates there and that's really based off of the people and in some of the towns and cities, I was interested immediately. And then I was just excited that the script was so good.
It's not based on a true story, but these people, like this atmosphere, are just all characters that I know.
You really took my room tonight.
I just take what I need when I need it.
A lot of money around here. If I showed you where, you think we could work something out?
I get you your 30, I keep the rest. I'm Dion.
I wrote this story 5 years ago, and I crowdfunded it, and they help us reach our goal. And it took us 4 years to find such specific characters.
I don't think we could have gotten half of what we got without the community's help. And the fact that one of the major characters in this story is that bar.
You know where you're at, honey?
Sometimes good people do bad things for the ones we love. I love the anti-hero genre, and its theme of the movie was you will do anything to protect the ones you love.
He knows what he's doing isn't right or isn't the best, and he's looking for love in every sense of the word.
Where's the money?
I just got back to Natchitoches yesterday. We are going to be doing a premiere Thursday nights. It's sold out within 1 week.
All the background that we have in this movie that you see, these are real people that live there. And really, we're excited to be a part of it.
I'm on top of the world. I truly am. I feel that hard work is rewarded. Not giving up and seeing something through is one of the greatest feelings that you can ever experience.
We don't play them games in the dirty side.
Stay tuned, there's more coming up on Made in Hollywood.
Made in Hollywood.
Thanks for watching Made in Hollywood, powered by MoviePhone. For more behind-the-screen content, check out MoviePhone.com.